All right, welcome to Mr. Delicious Kitchen. Today we're about to show you guys how to prepare a capocollo. Frank, show me what you got.
Okay, so step one, what we're gonna do is you go to the butcher actually and you order a capocollo. You say, can I have 6 capocollo, 8 capocollo, and they already have the meat prepared for you, especially December, January, February. They're very rare. They save this cut of meat. It's actually, I believe it's the shoulder, but you go to a good butcher. You can't go to a superstore. They're not sure what this is. You have to go to like an Italian, Longo's I believe has them. I get this particular cut of meat from Nardini's in Hamilton. You can go there and get 20, you can go there and get 5, you can go and get 6. So purchase this one today, give me 8 capicollos, and the other thing that I purchased was some coarse salt. And they're called velos. They're basically synthetic casings, and you will see how these will be used in about 12 hours after salting. So the very first thing we're going to do, we're going to salt this guy. The most important step, and a very simple step, get your coarse salt, just lots of salt. You want this on the top, on the bottom. The most important part about this is you're going to get every single crevice and crack, and you want to make sure you get that salt in there. Work that salt right in there. You can see here there's going to be some little seams and little holes here and there. You want to make sure that it's totally all this little. You want to make sure that you get all in these little cracks here. Okay, roll it in the salt. Get every single piece. There's got to be a base of salt. So we're gonna make a nice little bed of salt right here, and then we're going to make sure that it's totally covered. And then at the end, after we totally cover this salt, this capocollo, totally covered. See how much salt there is? There's quite a bit of salt on there. Do not worry, this is less salt by the end of it. It will be less salt than you ever eat in any other cold cut or lunch meat. And there's no preservatives in here. So then you take your fine salt and you just fill in the spaces with the fine salt. So you'll see like little cracks here and there. Okay, that's step one. We're gonna put another one here, another one here, another one here, and we're gonna cover them. Then we're gonna take them into the cold cellar, keep them for anywhere between 11 to 14 hours at the most, and then we'll go to step 2 and we'll wash them. So thank you. Stay tuned for step 2.
Okay, we're back in the kitchen with Mr. Delicious. We are now at the stage of the capocollo has been in, what'd you say, 10 hours sitting approximately?
This is probably more 13 hours
okay.
In the salt. I don't think they'll be too salty. I think they will be fine. Actually, it might be 13, 14 hours. So these might be the ones we gift maybe to the in-laws or something. You got a brother-in-law that maybe a little high blood pressure. No, I'm just kidding.
Your neighbor.
They will be fat. They should be fine. So actually, these ones, come to think of it, are on they have been 14 hours under the salt, but it should not be it should not be any salty. I've done anywhere from 10 to 13 hours. So this is probably the longest that we've done. So as you can see, they're all salted. There's all the water in there. So they've sat in the salt for 14 hours. So all we're gonna do is simply just give them a little wash, and believe it or not, just with a little bit of cold water, not hot water, obviously. You're just gonna basically scrape the salt off. Comes right off. That's it. Bob's your uncle. A little bit of cold water, get all the salt off. And then we're gonna head to the seasoning stage. That's it. Just discard the rest of your salt.
Do you want the salt out of all the crevices? Like take.
It actually has dissolved out of all the crevices. You don't have to really get in there and try to get it out. It has dissolved in there, and it has just a little bit of a wash that I've done has gotten the salt off. All right, so we're in the third stage. We've salted them for 14 hours. We've washed them. Now we're going to season them. So 4 spices basically that I use. I use paprika. I got some ground pepper, some cayenne. So this is the real strong stuff. This is the this you're gonna put right on last, and then your second last spice is your chili peppers. Get a lot of flavor from the chili peppers. So we're basically gonna season them. Let me take a drink first. Very important that you have a beverage near you so that you can do this properly. Try not to breathe in the pepper and the cayenne. Also, I am not using gloves. Big warning, when you handle the cayenne, after you wash your hands 4 or 5 times, it might still be there, so just be careful what you touch and so on and so forth. So we're gonna take a drink and then start with the seasoning. My videographer is obviously taking a drink there too. So the paprika is really for color. It does have a little bit of flavoring on it, but it's not overpowering. So you want to make sure you cover this nicely, all the crevices. Don't be shy with it. Get it all in there. Like I said, I think it gives the capocollo a nice little color. Again, there's little flaps, as you can see here and there, that you might want to get right in there. Get the ends very good. You can just kind of do that. Okay, and then you get your pepper. Again, don't overpower with the pepper, but do cover the entire piece of meat with the pepper. I find the pepper, you can put too much of it on, whereas the paprika really you can't. So just, kind of shake it off a bit, make sure it's all in there, get all the sides. Just give it a nice little covering. Again, you got the little flaps, the little crevices. You gotta, but again, don't over season with the pepper. The pepper is a great flavor, but don't put chunks of it in there. Okay, then we move on to the next is we move on to the chili peppers. This you put a lot of. Okay, so you really want to cover it because not all of it's going to stick, right? You really try to get in there with the chili peppers. This you try to put in the crevices. Try to really get it in there. Roll it in there. You'll see it'll stick a bit, but again, it doesn't stick a ton. So just want to don't be afraid with the amount you use there. And then, put some in all the little nooks here, and okay, so it's pretty well covered. Then the hot stuff, we've got the cayenne. So here's where you want to apply it. You do want to cover it. You can see, but again, this is the last time you want to touch this piece of meat. Get it all over. Get it in the crevices, just so you can see the different color. If you want to make them extra hot, which I have done a couple times, I'm a generous helping of this. Again, the chili flakes will give it more flavor than it will give it a lot of spice, because when you're cutting the piece of meat and you're slicing it, a lot of the chili flakes will fall off, and this is more for spice. So that guy is done, and we'll get to the next stage. We've got 8 capicollos we're gonna do. We'll get to the next stage, stage 4. We'll put them in the casings, and we will seal them with the rope. Okay. Chili flakes. There's some cayenne, and you're gonna take it. Oh, this vello is actually ripped, but it doesn't really matter. Wrap once, over on the sides, over on this side. That's it. That's how simple it is to wrap it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to apply a little bit of water to this, some cold water. Okay, I'm going to take our little stuffer here. I'm going to put it through here. A little tight. It's a little tight. Give it a couple bangs. Through the other side comes our capocollo. There you have it. So what you do is you cut this here, And then you're going to take your string, cut some pretty long strings. You're just going to weave it through here a couple times. Weave, weave. I can even do this without my glasses on. And you're going to tie this up. There you go. There's your capocollo. Then we'll head to stage 5 right after this. Stage 5 will be pressing, and stage 6 will be hanging. Stage 7 is probably our favorite, mine and Gab's favorite, is you actually get to eat the capocollo in about 6 weeks. So we'll get back to you when we press these. Okay. All right, welcome back. So we've wrapped them. We've put the mesh on the capocollo. We put the strings through. One of the things I like to do ahead of time is we put the string through, and I've also made a loop because eventually we're going to hang these. So we're going to head to the next stage. We're going to take our capocollos and we're going to go to the cantina. You're going to follow me to the cantina. So in the cantina I have boards set up, and they're basically clean pieces of plywood. Open sesame. There's our board set up there. A little tight in here. We've got a few sauce and I guess a couple bottles of booze over there or something. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take our capocollos and we want to press them. So you're going to put them on this wood, and it's important that it's wood because these will still release some moisture. So you need a plain piece of wood, untreated piece of wood. This was a piece of plywood that I quartered. So very important that it's a piece of wood and not a laminate, because the water will sit on laminate. The boards here will absorb the water. So just kind of spread them out evenly. And then what we're going to do, we're going to put the board down there. And then there's 2 ways you can do this. You can take a container like this. Being Italian, I have tomato sauce containers that I can put on. You can put them on and apply a little bit of weight to them. The other thing that, the other trick that my Uncle Vito taught me is get your trusty old clamps in there. So you can clamp them, put that up, give a little clamp, and put clamps all around, and it'll compress the meat for you. And then maybe every couple days you can come down and give it a squeeze. Okay, so that's stage 5. That's stage 5. So after this, we'll get back to you in about a week. We're going to be, I'll try not to wear the exact same clothing this time. And after the pressing stage, we're going to get to the hanging stage. So stay tuned. All right, well, welcome back. Now we've pressed the capocollos. I've come down a couple days and gave them a little extra tightening. Now you can use clamps, but you can also use weight, so you can progressively use weight. In the past, I've used cases of sauce. Being Italian, we have sauce, so cases of sauce to put extra pressure on as you go along. So we basically we're supposed to press them for about a week. Because of schedules and traveling and having real jobs, both Gab and I we're doing this 2 weeks later, but it's not an issue. They're still actually started the curing process. So remove the board there, and what you will see with the capocollos now is, I don't know if the lighting is great here, but you see that they've flattened out. So it almost looks like a prosciutto, but it is a capocollo. And the difference between the capocollo and the prosciutto is you will see marbling inside here. So I just want to point out one other thing. The reason why you need to use the wood, I don't know if you can see on here, but there's kind of like little dampness. The wood absorbs the moisture, and that's what you want to do. So all we're going to do now is basically, they're already tied up. We've done a good job. We're just going to, I don't know if you can see the little dark part there. We're going to hang them next to those ones there. We'll see you guys in about 5 or 6 weeks probably, by the time these are dry, depending on the season. You can actually feel them. So when they're a little bit more durable, but basically durable, a little harder, but basically it's a 6-week process. You don't want to dry them too much, But what I do, I'll do it about 5 or 6 weeks. I'll feel them, and then I'll cut one open, and I'll see how the texture is on the inside. So we'll see you guys in 6 weeks. All right, well, welcome to the final stage. Like I said, our favorite stage, where we get to actually sample the capocollo. So, it's been cured. First of all, I'd like to give props to my videographer, my neighbor Gabor Zetner.
How you doing?
He also was able to. He also participated in all this and made quite a few. I think he's eaten most of them. Anyways, here we go. Here's our finished product right here. That's basically our capocollo there. And the difference that you can see between, like I was saying, between the capocollo and the prosciutto, the capocollo you will see a little bit of marbling. Some people don't like that. This maybe has a little bit more marbling than not, but it gives you a nice tender. It's more moist. It's not as dry as what a prosciutto is. So let's give it a try, Gabor. Let's see what happens here. Here, how's that? Try that.
Delicious.
It's
hard to do with the camera.
Woo!
Oh my God, Frank. Should die for it. Cheers.
Cheers, guys. What does that lady say? Tutto a tavole.
Oi.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.